Well, when we first got married, we loved kids, and we've always loved kids. We worked with kids before we got married, and then we continued working with children at children's ministry after we got married, and planned that we would have kids about 5 years in. About year 8 of marriage, we thought we better get serious about this, and so we decided that we would get tested and to see if we could have children. And while we were waiting for our test to come back, and this is such a God thing, we got a call from my cousin in Georgia who said, "Hey, I know you guys love kids, and you haven't had any yet. I know somebody who's going to have a baby and wants to give it up for adoption. Would you guys consider adoption?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I think so, but let me talk to Paul about it." And we came home and talked to Paul about it, and we said, "Yeah, we really would like to do that." And it was the next day after we said we would adopt a baby that we got our tests back, and we found out that we weren't able to have children.
Yeah, I don't think I'd thought about adoption before that, and I think if right away we just thought because like she said, we've always been involved with kids, and none of them are ours anyway, so.
And we had probably 20 godchildren. We were the people in the will that would take care of kids when all of our family members and our friends, if anything happened to them. So we knew we would always want to have a family, and that we were, that God had that in plan for us, and He had that in mind for us. With Tara, our oldest daughter, and she's the one that we adopted from Georgia, I think it was pretty easy. We got a call from my cousin. She set us up with an attorney, and we talked to the attorney. The attorney talked to the birth mom, and we communicated through the attorney. We didn't really ever meet the birth mom. We never met her. We never talked with her, which was quite different than our other adoption. And so I think it was pretty easy.
It was long, but yeah, it was.
It was 9 months. No.
Well, it was almost, wasn't it almost 7 months?
It was like 7 months, yeah.
That we knew about it?
We knew about it.
I had a customer who was a, what do you call it?
OBGYN?
OBGYN, and he had a patient who wanted to give her children up for adoption. And he just came in to ask what lawyer we used for our first adoption. And so I just called Laurie and said, "Hey, we got twins. Should we go for it?"
And I started crying and saying, "Yes, of
Because
course."
in between there was another one from Georgia that fell through.
Yeah, so when he called and said, "Hey, do you want to have twins?" I said, "Yeah,
Sure.
that's awesome."
Well, I can't imagine it being any different having natural kids than adopting kids. We love them just the same.
I couldn't imagine loving our children any more than we already do. God is so good. He prepared us for our first adoption by answering our prayers before we even knew that we weren't able to have children. Who does that? God. He's the only one that can do that. And so we weren't anxious about that because we knew that He knew our hearts and our needs and our wants, and He was able to fulfill that for us. And then to fulfill our family with Todd and Tori, with just bringing somebody into our life like a customer of Paul's that happened to be an OBGYN and happened to have a client that was going to have twins. That's not all by circumstance. That's God. That's God and His plan for us.
If you're considering foster care or adoption, I think a big part of it is the children, the blessing you'll be to them.
In my opinion, I think that adoption is such a great blessing, and it would be a great joy for people if they opened up their hearts to accept a child through adoption. Several times I've helped other people that weren't able to have children, or talk to them and counsel with them about having children and being adopted. And so many times they don't want to do that because they want to have their own biological child. And through circumstances, God has opened their hearts and they've adopted, and they couldn't imagine their life any differently than it ever has before.